threats facing its wildlife and look directly at the solutions and the structural challenges to saving it all. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. Here's our highly structured agenda for today. 1. Pakistan's natural beauty. 2. Endangered animals and plants. 3. The endangered peacocks. 4. Preservation and individual contributions. 5. Challenges to preserving nature. And finally, 6. Essential conservation vocabulary.
Section 1. Pakistan's natural beauty. We're going to establish the baseline of the region's diverse landscapes. So, how exactly would you describe the natural beauty of Pakistan?
Well, imagine a landscape that literally sweeps from the towering, icy peaks of the Himalayas, including K2, which is the second tallest mountain in the entire world, all the way down to the sun-baked expanses of the Cholistan and Thar deserts. You experience 4 distinct seasons across this region, and it's even home to a completely man-made forest called Changamanga. All of this brilliantly illustrates how this wildly unique geography provides the perfect, dynamic foundation for a vast array of indigenous wildlife.
Section 2. Endangered animals and plants.
That brings us to a really vital question. Can you name some endangered species of animals and plants in Pakistan?
Now, what's really interesting here is the sheer range of vulnerable species. It's staggering. You have majestic predators like the snow leopard and massive creatures like the Asian elephant. But then there are also highly unique, lesser-known animals facing severe threats. I'm talking about the hog deer, the Asiatic wild ass, the incredible woolly flying squirrel, and the Kashmir musk deer. Each of these animals is dealing with significant escalating pressures right in their natural habitats.
And the danger continues straight across the ecosystem. In the rivers, the Indus river dolphin is at risk. On land, the fishing cat is threatened alongside several bird species, including the red-headed vulture, the Egyptian vulture, and the white-headed duck. And perhaps most tragically, even the markhor is in danger. Now, the markhor isn't just any animal. It's literally the national animal of Pakistan. It's a stark reminder that even a nation's defining symbols are definitely not immune to these severe environmental threats.
But you know, the danger extends beyond just the animals, to the very flora that shapes the landscape itself. Deep in Balochistan, ancient juniper trees are currently fighting a losing battle. They're being threatened by a very specific, aggressive organism, the dwarf mistletoe parasite.
Section 3. The endangered peacocks.
Let's take on this specific mission directly from the source text. Search the internet and find out about the endangered peacocks.
When you dive into the facts surrounding endangered peacocks, a prime and honestly heartbreaking example is the green peafowl. Their populations have declined significantly across their native ranges in Southeast Asia, and the drivers of this decline are stark. Primarily, they face immense habitat loss caused directly by agriculture and human expansion. Compounding that is the absolute tragedy of hunting. These beautiful birds are actively targeted and killed simply for their meat and their feathers.
Section 4. Preservation and individual contributions. We are moving from the problem to the solution. So, how can we actually preserve Pakistan's fauna and flora?
So the crucial point is that preservation requires unyielding action. There are 4 non-negotiable steps we must take to stop this environmental degradation. We must stop deforestation, we must stop overgrazing, we must stop soil erosion, and we must stop poaching. These are the direct, undeniable actions required to preserve these incredible habitats and the wildlife that depends on them.
Section 5. Challenges to preserving nature.
Let's bridge the gap between those necessary actions and our current reality. What type of challenges is Pakistan facing while preserving nature?
Well, these are the plain, undeniable realities on the ground making conservation so difficult. First, there's political instability, which frankly derails essential long-term environmental planning. Second, there's a fundamental lack of technical and institutional capacity to actually enforce protections. And third, a severe lack of financial resources. These are the exact structural barriers that stand between the necessary actions and real-world preservation.
Section 6. Essential conservation vocabulary. Let's solidify our understanding of some key terms.
Let's talk about the word parasite. As a noun, it means an organism that lives on or in a host organism and gets its food from or at the expense of its host. Think back to those ancient juniper trees we discussed earlier. That dwarf mistletoe attacking them? That is the exact parasite described right here. Next up is stakeholder. In the context of environmental protection, a stakeholder is a person, group, or organization that has an interest or concern in a cause. When we talk about finding real solutions for the snow leopard or the markhor, stakeholders are the local communities, governments, and conservationists who absolutely must come to the table.
Let's move on and see how this builds by rapidly expanding our vocabulary with some direct synonyms. If you hear the word endangered, you can swap it for threatened, vulnerable, or at risk. Entrapment means capture, snare, or tangle. Then there's a really severe term like extirpation. That means complete removal, eradication, annihilation, or destruction. If something is restricted, it translates to limited, confined, or small. And finally, our main goal, to preserve, simply means to protect, conserve, maintain, or save.
Which brings us to our final and most important question. How can we contribute as individuals to save nature?
The power to protect this natural heritage doesn't just sit with governments and institutions. There are highly specific, actionable steps that you can take. You can conserve water. You can reduce your waste and pollution. You can consciously support eco-friendly products. You can get out there and participate in local tree planting drives. And crucially, you can educate others about the importance of biodiversity and these specific threats. The beauty of the Himalayas, the uniqueness of the markhor, and the tragedy of the green peafowl. The stakes are crystal clear. So my question to you is this. Which one of these 5 exact steps are you going to implement in your own life today to help preserve this irreplaceable natural beauty?